friends, welcome to my channel. So I am going to be doing my Pan That Palette introduction for 2021. I've never done this before, so I thought it would be interesting to pick one palette from my collection to focus on for the year and see how much progress I make. I have one of the oldest palettes in my collection, which is not saying much because most of them have come into my collection this year, but I picked one of my older ones that I'm thinking I'll be inclined to reach for less once I get back to in-person classes. So without further ado, my Pan That palette for 2021 is the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions. So I've had this one for a little bit. I think I bought this at the end of July. I know you can't get it on Sephora Canada anymore, but I have definitely worn it a lot. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of use in this like mint shimmer. I've used the gold quite a bit too, and then I definitely have small dips on this mint matte and this emerald matte too. So I'm definitely think that I can hit pan on these guys sooner rather than later. I've heard the pans are pretty shallow. I am going to be doing probably quarterly updates, so I think the next one for this will be in April, and I'll just be showing you guys how many times I've used the palette and if I have any pan. So I wanted to pick this palette because it's not like my favorite thing in my collection, but it's definitely not my least favorite either. I would say it's sort of in the middle to low end. I do find for a green palette it is quite versatile. I think the inclusion of like the gold and the olive sort of make for some more like wearable looks, and there are some that you can definitely get that are more out there and a little bit more dramatic. So I definitely see myself reaching for like the gold and the olive ones more, especially like I said, once I get back to in-person classes, which probably won't be until next fall. But I do find that having this, having also purchased a couple of more grungy green palettes like the Gemini and the Elf Earth and Oceans, I've discovered that I don't love the sort of more blue tone greens on myself as much as I love more yellow toned and earthy greens. So with that in mind, I definitely am not planning on decluttering this palette anytime soon, but I would like to get a whole bunch of use out of it, especially while I am at home and I don't have to feel self-conscious about wearing, you know, an emerald green eye in the lab the same way I might under normal circumstances. I do also want to point out here that I have been sort of gone from the makeup sphere for a couple of years, and I was sort of unaware of how problematic Huda Beauty was as a brand, so I don't really want to support them anymore. And I think that, combined with the fact that I just don't love the colors on the color story in this as much as I do for some of my other green palettes, has made me sort of feel like it's time to work on this as much as possible and then try to hopefully completely pan it at some point. I will be doing my next update probably sometime around April, so stay tuned.